Okay. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, Elijah. I'm gonna do something a little different today. I'm gonna go a day-by-day review of my conservatory week. And I'll tell you the disastrous weekend that led up to my conservatory. Alright, so I'm gonna start on Saturday because that's where it starts. So I'm playing my violin, practicing. Next thing you know, my bridge slips. So I'm like, wow, I have to fix that and reset it. So I remove all the strings and I reset the bridge, put the strings back on. Next that night, it was okay. The bridge was okay for that night. The next day, I go out to like breakfast, no, maybe lunch with my sister and her friend. I get back, I'm like tuning my violin. Next thing you know, I hear my bridge snapped. The top of the bridge goes flying somewhere. The bottom of the bridge gets stuck under the tailpiece. I'm like, what am I gonna do? Out of all the weeks, this is the time. I'm like, really? And so I'm freaking out. I don't know what to do. I immediately go on Google, try and find violin shops that are open, because it is a Sunday. So I go to a total of 2 violin shops. Neither one can help me. They're like, we would need to take your violin and send it to our workshop, and that'll take a couple of days. I'm like, I don't have a couple of days, alright? My conservatory starts Tuesday. They're like, we can't help you. I'm like, whatever. So I get back home disheartened by the words they told me. I'm like, well, what could have been, right? I'm thinking it's all over. What could have been? Then a thought came to me. I'm like, I have an extra violin. It's a Cremona, full size. I don't play it anymore. I can take that bridge, put it on here, put my strings back. So I do that. I do exactly that. Then I'm like, maybe this can work. Everything looks nice. It's playable for the most part. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, now I just need to tune it. I'm tuning. And then I hear I'm like, really? My string snapped. I'm like, oh my god. What else? Why? And, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, those were new sets of strings. I was like, I have a feeling that I will need an extra set of strings. So that's what I did. I bought a set of strings from the violin because that's the only thing they can offer me. So I'm like, whatever. Then when I was tuning it, snapped. Just gone. I'm like, are you kidding me? So I am heartbroken at that time. I don't know what to do. And then hopefully this other violin shop that's like 5 minutes away from me, it was closed on Sunday. I'm like, maybe they can help me out early tomorrow when they open. So I get there. When they open, I'm like, hi, I need to buy strings. they're like, okay, well, here are the strings we have. And they're like, but our string technician, he won't be until like 1, until he can put them on. I'm like, no. Like, oh my god. Because keep in mind, I have to check in, alright, that time, like 3 to midnight. I'm on a time crunch. I'm like, I have to check in at a hotel. They're like, as soon as he walks in the door, we're gonna hand him the violin. I'm like, okay. So I get a call from him. And I was like, I'm not gonna tune them by myself after what I did last night, So, no. So I decided to wait. Then I get a call from him. He's like, hey, the bridge is not, the bridge that you have is not properly fitted to your violin. Now, I understand that you have a conservatory to go to, but this violin is not conservatory ready. It's not playable. I'm like, oh my god. I want to cry. So I was like, can you fit me a bridge? He's like, I can, but it wouldn't be until like 8 o'clock tonight because there's other repairs I have to get to. I'm like, fine, whatever, just do it. I need it. Right? So I'm like, just do it. And he's like, no. It is a left-handed, so I'm gonna have to upcharge. I'm like, whatever, just do it. He's like, alright. So a couple hours go by. I was about to take my violin to a different shop that they can do the bridge right then and there. So I'm like, I called him. I was like, hi, I want to pick up my violin and take it to a different shop. Then the luthier was like, oh, I already started on your violin. I'm like, okay, great, just proceed then. So he's like, hi, I get a call. Hi, your violin is ready. I'm like, okay, great. So I can get my violin, get on, with the conservatory. I get out my car, pull out my neighborhood. And next thing you know, car accident. I accidentally hit the car in front of me. I did my best to stop, swerve out of the way. I pulled the steering wheel, nothing happened. I'm like, oh my god. What else can get worse? Like, I don't have time for this. So, she wants to make a report with the cops, and I'm like, that's totally unnecessary. I'm like, I give you my information, I get yours, that's how we do it. And then, so she insisted that she calls the cops. I'm like, whatever, just do it. And then she calls the cops. We wait there. The cop is like, yeah, there's pretty much nothing we can do except write a report and then have you guys exchange information. I'm like, we could have avoided all of this time, all of this wasted time. But I'm like, whatever. So I get in my car, go to the violin shop. I pay, a hefty amount in the 3 digits. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it was pretty bad. Like, my bank account is drained, alright? So, I'm like, so, the strings I bought, dominant for the A, D, and G. I heard the E string for dominant is not that good, so I got an obligato single string. So that's my setup. 3 dominant and 1 obligato. I'm like, why not? Like, I want to feel good, I want to sound good, for this orchestral event. So, check in at the hotel. Fast forward to day 2. I get to the parking lot. I meet some 2 string players, 1 percussionist, 1 trumpet player, 1 tuba player, 1 double bassist. So we get on the shuttle. We're being shuttled to the performance hall, and I'm like, what am I doing? I've only had 6 months of lessons. I'm by far not up to par with these people, with these other musicians who have years and years of experience. And I know, because at the beginning of the conservatory, one of our conductors told us to go around the room and tell how long we've been playing. So you got like 6 years, 5 years, 10 years, and all that. I'm like, 6 months. I was like, oh my god. And then we play a warm-up piece, an easy piece. But I'm seeing notes on the G string, and I am having so many problems because the D, A, and E string, I can read notes fine. The G string, me and my teacher, we have never really gone over the G string. So I'm like, for lack of a better phrase, it's Chinese to me, So I'm like, is that a 1? Maybe that could be a 2. Maybe a 3, Maybe open D? But I know what the open D looks like. So I'm like, that's not an open D. I'm like, okay. So after the first day, feeling pretty discouraged, I get a text from my dad. He's like, hey, how did things go? I'm like, I'll be honest, I may have bit off more than I can chew, but I'm pretty sure with practice I can get this. And, day 2 comes. I'm feeling a bit more comfortable. Just a tad bit. I still have no idea what I'm doing. So everyone's playing their sight reading music left to right. I'm like, maybe that's that. Maybe, I don't know. And I'm over here just making stuff up. So I'm like, yeah. Not playing anything. And then, so day 2, we had some panelists, I think. I'm like, oh, actually, we had a guest conductor that day who works for the Disneyland band. He conducts it. He's like, he gave an amazing speech. I felt so inspired. He's like, he basically said, don't let anyone tell you that you can't play music. He's like, just don't. He was like, if you want to play music, play music. So I felt so inspired. I was getting teary-eyed. I'm like, it's true. Because the first day, when I sat down in our designated seating chair, I was like, something came over me. Not spiritually, but an epiphany came over me. I'm like, this feels right. This feels right. And then after that, it kind of went downhill. So day 2, he gave that awesome speech. I thank him at the end. I'm like, thank you. That was so inspiring. And, so we move on with the day. I believe that we did have some panelists speaking. And one of the speakers is forgot his name, but I believe it was Bruce Healy. He used to work for the Walt Disney Company. Have you ever seen Fantasmic and hear that incredible music? Bruce Healy, he composed that. The show scripters that they were like, oh, just find a nice piece to go along with Mickey's imagination. No, but Bruce Healy, he was like, I'm gonna go in with my own piece. He composed that amazing music. I'm like, oh my gosh. We had some other amazing panelists. One panelist does the music for Elena of Avalor. He does some music for attractions in the park. I forgot what the third panelist does. So anyway, that's day 2. A lot of inspiration. This is an immense amount of inspiration. Day 3. I'm feeling even more comfortable. And I'm starting to come out of my shell. And talk to my string section. Talk to other musicians as well, you know. I'm like, oh, the third day we go to DCA. It's my home, alright? DCA is my home. I'm like, I'm going home. So, I'm like, we go on the pier. That's where I work. So I visited all my cast members. I'm like, hey, what's up? You know, I'm part of the Conservatory. I'm here. You know, you can't get my autograph later. No, I'm kidding. So, I get there. Third day, we got to ride The Little Mermaid. I love that ride. Such a beautiful story. And we even get to ride the Incredicoaster. I'm like, I love that ride. I'm like, that's such a thrill riding the Incredicoaster. We watch the Pixarmonic. After the show, I told one of my facilitators, Sean, that he's like the head honcho of the performing arts. He's like, okay, we're gonna do this, this, and that. You know, he's that like agenda person, for lack of a better word. And I'm sorry, Sean. I'm just gonna call you the head honcho. So, I was like, hey, can I go to Boardwalk real quick? Fill up my water bottle, and then I come back here. He's like, you know, the show's pretty much done, and we're gonna meet up. He was like, we were gonna go do this, but you can totally meet us if you want. I was like, yeah, I know where that is. So I get my water, say hi to a couple of people. I'm like, I get my water. Then I'm like hurrying back. I'm like, okay, they're gonna be in this location. So I go back there. No one's there. I'm like, where are they? I'm freaking out. I go back on stage. I'm freaking out. I do not see anyone. So I'm running back and forth like a chicken with this head cut off. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So I running back and forth, like I circle the pier. And then I go back to the location they said they were gonna be in. I go back, next thing you know, the trams are moving away. They're just driving as I'm walking up. I'm like, oh. I'm like, I don't know what to do. And everyone on the tram is yelling, stop, 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 stop. It's Elijah. And like, you know. So, one of the violinists, his name is Ben. He gets off the tram. He's like, come on, come on. So I'm like walking. He's like, come on, run. So I'm like, I'm running. Well, I'm trying to at least. And then we get back to the performance hall. And Sean, he apologizes to me. And he's like, I'm so sorry. I totally forgot. And Sean, I didn't give my apology then, but I'm going to give it now. It's partially my fault as well. You know, if I didn't get water, then this whole thing could have been avoided. And so yeah, we get back to day 3. Was it that day we had some panelists? Could have been Thursday, but if it was not this day, I'll get it back to you on day 4. So that's my day 3. Day 4, feeling more comfortable, feeling more confident, you know. I'm like, hey, what's going on, guys? You know, like, you know, to my other violinist and the percussionist, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And day 4, we go through rehearsals. You know, it's crunch time. We're getting close to the deadline, so we're going on like rehearsals nonstop for like 2 to 4 hours. So, like, yeah. And then after that, they took us in the park. We got to work on teamwork. We had to do a scavenger hunt. We had to smuggle some things in Smuggler's Run, Galaxy's Edge. That was pretty fun. We just had a great time, and it was our section. It was our designated section. So all the strings players, it was Hallie, Ben, Matthew, Zora, and I. You know, that's the entire string section. So I'm like, okay. So I'm a gunner, and I love to be gunner, and I had so much fun, you know. Got 10 TIE fighter kills. I'm like, yeah, what's up? My accuracy, 32%. I looked to Hallie. She's the other gunner. She got 5 TIE fighter kills, 34% accuracy. I'm like, we did good. Piloting the Millennium Falcon, on the other hand, is not so good. It's so hard, so incredibly hard. We took some serious damage to the Falcon, and that greatly reduced our scores. So, what can you do? So we rehearse. We get back to rehearsal hall. We rehearse for like another 2 to 4 hours, going through the whole concert again. I'm feeling more comfortable, more confident, you know. So I'm like, to my string section, the musicians that I go in the shuttle with, which would be Hallie, Matthew, and John. He's the percussionist. I'm like, hey, do you guys want to get something to eat? And they're like, sure, yeah, you know. So we get food in downtown Disney. We eat at the Black Tap. pretty impressed. The burger was good. Pricey though. Milkshake, I got a classic shake, which is like $9. So I'm just spending some money, and I just got paid that day, so I'm spending money. And I'm like, okay, and then so that was that. We created memories that day, you know. If Hallie is watching, I'm serious, you know. Inside joke. Because on the next day, on day 4, is inside joke. So, yeah, so that's day 4. Day 5. Day 5, we get there, rehearse. Go, rehearse for like another 2 to 4 hours, going through the entire concert. And then, you know, I'm feeling much better, feeling more comfortable, more confident. And then, but this bridge, I'll be honest, it's not my favorite. I'm like, at the time, because I'm like, how do I work this thing? Like, wherever I position my elbow, I'm hitting like the wrong string or 2 strings at a time. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta get through this. So, day 5, we rehearse, we go into the park, we see the Disneyland band with Mary Poppins, but that band is called the Pearly Band. So great. So great. So, we go on It's a Small World. Had so much fun on that. Earlier that day, we had me, Hallie, Matthew, and John. We had espresso that day. Hallie brought espresso to the parking lot, and we're like, we're gonna, take some shots of the espresso. So we take the espresso. I have one. Matthew has one. Hallie and John have like 3, right? And then, as we're riding on It's a Small World, Hallie starts crashing. It's like, that caffeine crash. Like, it'll bring you up, and then boom. Like, so. So, in a row, it's me, Hallie, and Matthew. Hallie is in the middle. And then you can just see Hallie like nodding off. I'm probably going to get so much backlash from Hallie from this. If she does see it, if she does, I'm sorry, but this was too comical, too classic. Great memory. So, me and Matthew are just kind of like looking at each other, laughing, and yeah, and then we get back to the rehearsal hall. There's more panelists. You got Stan Freeze, Justin Freeze. Stan Freeze, he's a world-renowned tuba soloist, and he worked on some background music for the Walt Disney Company. And I believe he was a conductor for the Disneyland band and the Disney World band. So he has so many accolades. And Justin Freeze, Stan's son, he, like, what hasn't this guy done? He's like, I'm a pianist for the Green Day, and I worked with other musicians. He's like, not only that, I'm maybe a trumpet player, a saxist, like, in addition to his piano playing. So those were the two panelists. So inspiring. So inspiring. We end the panel discussion. So we go rehearse to another 2 to 4 hours, running through the whole show. And we run through with Sal. On our piece, Mulan, he has 3 saxophone solos, along with the violin that just harmonizes so beautifully. Every time I hear the saxophone played by Sal, and we're playing with him, tears, my my eyes are welling up, I'm like, oh my god, this is so beautiful. I love the Mulan song. I love it. So day 5, the final day, and the concert day, they give us a good amount of time to play in the parks until 1 o'clock, because that's when we have to dive into the rehearsals, the final rehearsals, and the final piece, The Incredibles, was conducted by nonetheless Gordon Goodwin himself. He conducted the orchestra for The Incredibles 2, maybe even The Incredibles. But that's the original conductor. And alongside Gordon is Wayne Bergeron. He is the amazing trumpet player that came up with the sound like ba-da-ba-ba-da. That's him. That's Wayne Bergeron. So he plays alongside us. So we go through the rehearsal. Gordon Goodwin, he's at a loss for words. He's like, you guys are doing so great. And he gave one of the most inspirational phrases to have ever been said. He's like, mess up with. He's like, if you're gonna mess up, just go for it. Just mess up big, I'm like, okay, I can do that. So, cool guy. And I'm like, oh my, yeah. I'm feeling good. But I still need to work on some stuff. I'm like, so as we are rehearsing, I'm like singling out some measures that I can work on. And when the beginning we do the castle intro, when you wish upon a star, like that song. Let's see. So at the beginning there's a slur, and then it's like, no, I'm sorry, at the beginning there's a rest for 4 seconds. So I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4. And then right there, is a slur. So I'm like, I have to nail this. I've been working on it all week, ever since I got the castle logo. I'm like, that's where I struggle. I need to work on that. So, because I was like, how am I gonna do that? How am I gonna do that? I have to think about it. So, time's getting closer. I'm getting changed into my all blacks. And we get changed. We do a quick little rehearsal in the Hyperion before the doors open. Quick little rehearsal. Then they have us go back outside. We get in our rows. 5 minutes to showtime. They bring us backstage of the Hyperion. And me and my strings, my second string comrades, I'm like, we got this. Tonight's the night. We got it. They have us walk out. As people are walking out, we're behind. Like, we're behind other people. People walk out. Cheers go up. I'm like, okay, it's time. This entire week, I have been working on something so magical that I cannot put into words. I have tried, but I cannot put into words. We sit down. I get my violin. Well, I get my music. We have a music stand light. I get my light, try and adjust it. The light just falls. So I'm like, whatever, I can see. So and my papers fell, my music fell along with it. So I'm like, whatever, you know. I regather my music, and I'm like, I can see. I don't need a light. This is my moment, you know. Nothing is gonna rob me of this moment. My family, they told me after the show, they're like, when they saw the lamp and the music fall, they're like, that's it. His feathers are ruffled. It's gonna be a complete train wreck. I'm like, when I was there, I was like, we got a show to do. I'm gonna give it my all. And next thing you know, I hear the click. Raise my violin. Count 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I nailed the slur. Everything I've been working on, it all came together. I didn't have to think about it. It came naturally. I'm like, I got this. After the intro, we go into Mary Poppins. Now, it's a division. So you're gonna play 2 strings with 1 bow. So I do that. We get into the later part of the song, like the last page of the music. I'm like, I know this part well. I love this part because this is the part where I can play, where I know I will just nail it. This is the part I feel most comfortable with. So, play. I'm like, I nailed that part. We go to Finding Nemo. I'm working on that part as well. And bring us up. You know, they bring us up. Finding Nemo. Before that, we had Wall-E. It's a lot of pizzicato. I'm not very good at pizzicato. I'm like, I'm not very good. Finding Nemo. I'm better. Monsters Inc. Faster beat. Catchy music. So I'm over here bouncing along to the music. Like, yeah, let's do it. I got this. Play Monsters Inc. Absolutely sounds gorgeous. Then Cars 2. One of the pieces I struggled most with. Time comes. I feel I did my best. And it showed, you know, everyone, the entire orchestra. We did so good. Then the final, excuse me, not the final, Mulan. Beautiful song. And I love the way it came out. It was like, dum dum dum. It was like really, really good. And I felt so proud of myself during that song. And percussionists, they top it off. They started off with 2 big bangs, like, and that's when the violins come in. Very beautiful. And then we get to the last page of the song. cell. He's playing his sax. Right there, in that moment, my eyes are welling up with tears. I'm like, this is what music is about. It has the power to evoke emotion. Not everything can do that. I'm like, I love music so much. And then we end the song so beautiful. The crowd cheers. Next thing you know, they introduced Gordon Goodwin, Wayne Bergeron. I'm like, okay, this is it. Last piece. Before Wayne started, he told us, he was like, have fun. The beginning of the song, we start off with the tremolo. Now, due to my left-sided weakness, I can't move my bow, even my arm, I can't move it that fast. So, during the week, I'm like, I have to figure out a way to play tremolo. Because while all the other strings are doing tremolo, I'm going like very slowly. Then an idea came to me. I put my bow on the string and I vibrate the neck of the violin. So it kind of gives that tremolo. And then my favorite was a trill. We play that. The song is moving along smoothly. By the way, this song, we didn't have the click. They told us we're gonna take the headphones off, put them under the chair, and we all counted perfectly. And what came next was a beautiful masterpiece. And then we end the song with 3 great bangs. We end the song. Now, it doesn't show in the video, but after I do the 4 big bangs, I just, I'm like, I'm staring off up there. I'm like, I did it. This entire week. All the 8-hour days. All the rigorous practicing. It all came together for this moment. And no one can steal this moment from us. Not even a bird snapping, a car crash, hitting my head while walking out the door, tripping, scraping my knee. That all just happened during the week of the conservatory. But none of it mattered because I told myself that I'm going to do this and nothing's going to stand in my way. You know, I am really thankful to the team, to Sal, to Joe, to Anne, to Laura, to Anne, to Leslie, the entire team, to Sean, to John, everyone, to Katie, man. They were all there to see me succeed. And they knew that they were taking a risk on the performance with me. But that didn't matter. To them, they just wanted to give me a great week, to give me the best opportunity. And they entrusted me with something so precious. And I will always be thankful to them. This week has been so beautiful. I will remember it forever. I made great friends, a lot of inspiration, great music, and most importantly, great memories. You know, a lot of people told me that I couldn't play the violin left-handed. But I just told them, watch me. Because I believe in myself that I can play. And I played.